The Awakening of the Chosen. Welcome to the Awakening of the Chosen. I'm Gabriel. And in the next few minutes of knowledge, you, Chosen One, will uncover a power that's not only rare, but truly unique. A force within you that challenges everything the world thinks it knows. Do you feel it? There's something great, something divine guiding you, an intelligence that sets you apart, and yes, may even unsettle those who aren't ready for this truth. Right here, right now, we're about to unlock the purpose God has placed within you. Your greatness isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to transform, to illuminate, and to push the boundaries of what others never even imagined. If you're ready to understand what makes you an unstoppable force, stay with me until the end. The time is now, Chosen One. Your journey starts here. We often feel like little specks in a huge ocean of stars and galaxies when we consider the cosmos. Our existence can seem to be a fleeting occurrence, a leaf blown by the cosmic wind. In actuality, however, nothing in the cosmos occurs by accident. Every one of us has a higher purpose, a reason for being in our current location. The fact that you are listening to these words right now is no accident. Deep intellect, or something beyond our normal comprehension, is something that exists inside you. This intellect, this spiritual genius, is not comparable to the academic knowledge we may acquire. It cannot be quantified by degrees or the quantity of knowledge we take in over the course of our life. It is a gift, a knowledge that the Creator has placed in your spirit and is meant to lead you to something greater. You have a flame inside of you, a single light that radiates in a unique and distinctive manner. This light is the embodiment of a mission that only you can accomplish, the expression of your own being. And even if it is your greatest asset, this brightness might annoy those around you. Maybe you've already noticed that some people find your perspective on the world odd or even unsettling. They may not comprehend your clarity, your capacity to look beyond the visible and into the hidden. In order to adapt, we are often tempted to conceal this light and to hide our true selves in order to avoid discomfort or conflict. However, be aware that this light was not intended to be concealed. This spiritual understanding, this divine intellect, pulses inside you for a cause. It exists so that you may discover and express who you really are and live a genuine life free from the fear of external criticism. You will learn to accept this light and acknowledge it as a fundamental aspect of your identity as we embark on this journey of self-discovery. Many attempt to avoid this inner pull by trying to conform to stereotypes that do not accurately represent who they are. But the more we get from our true selves, the more disoriented and disengaged we feel. You will start to see how this deep insight may change the way you interact with the environment and yourself along the way. Imagine living without the burden of masks, without having to conceal your brightness, and without worrying that others would criticize or misinterpret your special vision. Imagine the liberation that comes from accepting your own spiritual genius and realizing that you are a gift bearer whose brilliance does not need to be subdued in order to make others feel at ease. We are looking for this freedom, the freedom to be who we really are and to live in accordance with the reason we were called. The wisdom that resides inside you is a gift that few people really comprehend, but many people seek it out without realizing it. By ignoring what is most precious inside themselves, many people who attempt to replace the inner gap with outward accomplishments, accolades, or goods ultimately feel unfulfilled. The first step to overcoming this never-ending pursuit is acknowledging and accepting your inner light. You start to see that living in line with your nature and the purpose that God has put in your heart is what really brings you satisfaction and worth, rather than what other people think or what you own. But it takes guts. You must allow yourself to be led by something higher and have faith in the intellect that directs you. It's possible that you may be tempted to doubt your own deservingness of carrying this light at some time. Perhaps the demands and expectations of the outside world are trying to persuade you that it would be simpler to go the route of conformity. However, keep in mind that you are not here to blend in or take the same route as everyone else. You are here to mirror this heavenly knowledge and to provide something fresh. Give yourself permission to experience the fullness of this reality. Allow it to enter your being and change the way you see the world and yourself. Acknowledge that you possess brilliance and insight that cannot be quantified by conventional measures or described in words. By acknowledging this magnificence, you start to solve the jigsaw of your own life and realize that you are a special component of the universe's enormous puzzle. Additionally, this item has endless significance despite its seeming little size. Many individuals might spend their whole lives unaware of their talent or the fact that everyone has a higher purpose. However, you have arrived and are becoming aware of this reality, and this realization is just the first step. The light of your spirit will no longer be concealed as you embark on a path of self-acceptance and self-discovery. It's common to encounter internal and external obstacles when you start to recognize this inner grandeur. People have become used to dealing with what is common, readily understood, and pleasant, so they are often unprepared to comprehend the depth of your existence. Your brilliance, your elevated and clear perspective, challenges conventional wisdom and reveals facts that others may not want to perceive. And this conflict between your perception and what the outside world perceives might lead to discomfort. Do not be misled by this discomfort. It does not imply that you are incorrect or that your talent should be hidden. Conversely, the transforming power of your essence is revealed via this same agony. You start touching people's sleeping bits when you're at your brightest. They can see what they don't yet see, or would rather not see, since your light operates as a reflection. Though it may sometimes be difficult, this contemplation can be motivating. For this reason, some people could respond with misinterpretation or even rejection. However, keep in mind that these responses have to do with other people's willingness to cope with what their presence exposes, not with your value or the validity of your gift. It is your responsibility to be faithful to who you are, to that inner light of God, rather than to change or persuade these responses. You may start living a more powerful and genuine life by connecting with this inner knowledge. And the more you live this reality, the more you realize that acceptance and trust are at the center of this path. To fully exhibit this divine wisdom, you must first accept yourself in all of your totality. This spiritual talent, this wisdom, is like a seed that the Creator has sown. You are the only one who can provide her with the room and independence she needs to develop and thrive. In fact, when you accept your spiritual brilliance, you are giving the divine will permission to manifest itself through you. Furthermore, the journey to acceptance is rarely straightforward or devoid of obstacles. Sometimes you could doubt the authenticity of this gift, and you might even feel under pressure to lighten your light to fit the situation or stay out of trouble. These times serve as chances to reinforce your dedication to your core self, much like exams. God gave you this intellect for a reason, and that reason calls for you to have the guts to be who you really are in spite of the things that happen around you. Your gift of spiritual brilliance was intended to be shared, to inspire, to lead, and to light up those who are open to it. As you continue on this path, you will come to see that this intelligence is a gift that affects everyone around you, rather than only being a personal trait. Living in accordance with this aim and letting this insight come to you organically has its own beauty. You start to understand that this light cannot and should not be controlled, so you stop resisting other people's emotions. Even while this brightness might sometimes be unpleasant for some, it is your duty to let it shine and illuminate all around you like a beacon that inspires and directs. Even in a delicate and quiet manner, your presence has the capacity to awaken, change, and touch lives when it is genuine and in accordance with this divine truth. This is what makes your journey so beautiful. It's not about fitting into stereotypes that don't represent who you are or trying to be understood by everyone. It's about realizing that you possess a special gift, a divine flame that the world needs. In order for the spiritual brilliance that is within of you to completely emerge, this acceptance is what really opens the door to change. Embracing this gift and accepting who you are is a sign of love and faith in the bigger picture that the universe has in store for you. You are here to give a fresh perspective, to be a conduit of knowledge and inspiration, to present a different way of looking at and comprehending the world, not to fit in. You could have recognized a different view of yourself from a young age, a comprehension that seemed different from how other people saw the world. You could have wondered what made you unique because of this sometimes isolating experience of looking beyond outward manifestations and seeing nuances and unseen connections. As time went on, you most likely came to the awareness that, unlike the commonly evaluated information, this unique clarity, this capacity to see realities that others had not yet recognized, could not be taught or quantified, either in a discussion or an exam. It is a kind of intellect that goes above accepted ideas, a spiritual clarity that shows a direct relationship with something bigger, a higher reality that only a select few can understand. Your spiritual brilliance is this. This talent, which we refer to as spiritual brilliance, defies easy categorization. It is neither measurable or characterized in the same way as rational intellect. It's as like you have a direct line of communication with heavenly knowledge, something that lets you see what's hidden, decipher what's not obvious, and reach a level of comprehension that most people cannot see. It is true that this elevated awareness might make you uncomfortable as well as others. It is a tremendous yet difficult experience to see what others cannot see, to realize what lies under the surface. Furthermore, rejection or even contempt are common responses when you attempt to explain your vision to others who are not yet prepared to comprehend it. The worth of this knowledge that is inside you is not diminished by the fact that it is not always comprehended. On the contrary, the capacity to illuminate your own path and the paths of others around you is a unique talent. Even if the world is often not yet ready to accept it, God, in His great wisdom, placed this talent in your spirit to be a source of inspiration and light rather than to be concealed. Being a spiritual genius is not a unique advantage. Rather, it was bestowed to you as a guide to help you live a life that reflects this larger reality. And because not everyone is ready or eager to see what you see, it is normal for this brilliance to sometimes encounter opposition. Because you become a light in the darkness by seeing realities that are beyond the norm, living with this knowledge entails a great deal of responsibility. Those who are looking for answers but have not yet grasped the road may feel challenged or even uneasy by your presence, which is inevitable. But instead of changing to appease others, your goal should be to stay true to the divine truth that always follows you. You are the custodian of this holy treasure. Your journey becomes more strong and obvious the closer you get to this perception, which may be thought of as a spiritual compass that directs you. And that's when you start to realize how important this brilliance is to your life. It is not there by accident, and the more you comprehend it, the more you will be able to live freely and express who you are without hesitation or fear. This gift is a lighthouse that lights your path, while also reflecting a light that may lead others, even if they are first unaware that they need such assistance. Love and heavenly understanding are directly manifested in this spiritual talent. As you accept this gift, you'll discover that it gradually starts to influence how you engage with the outside world. It pushes you to live true to who you are, to be true to yourself, and to reflect this higher knowledge in every moment. In order for her to be a force of change and light, God granted her this special ability to see. You become a pure conduit for this divine intellect to pass through you and influence those around you the more you allow it to. It is important to keep in mind that this light was not intended to be concealed throughout this procedure. It is a crucial aspect of who you are, even if it may sometimes be hard for those who haven't yet experienced this same clarity to comprehend. It is your responsibility to completely embody this truth, not to persuade or change the opinions of others, with the hope that your presence and example may eventually inspire those who are prepared. The more you embrace and comprehend this talent, this spiritual brilliance, the more it becomes an integral part of your identity. It is a reality that beats inside you. It was given permission to be articulated and to exist fully and authentically. Its nature is difficult by today's standards, yet it also has a transforming power. This spiritual clarity serves as a live conduit of divine intent, reflecting God's light and motivating those who possess the capacity to perceive beyond outward manifestations. It is not meant to be lessened or controlled. You start to experience the calm that comes from living in alignment with your innermost purpose when you make this awareness a fundamental aspect of your life. This serenity is independent of approval from others or approval from individuals in your immediate vicinity. It is a quiet assurance and inner serenity that arises from establishing a connection with the divine flow that is inside you. Additionally, the more you connect with this energy, the more empowered you will be to take action on what really matters, make decisions that align with your core values, and break free from external pressures. The offer: to live in a state of higher awareness, free from the distractions and illusions of daily life, is the essence of spiritual brilliance. It is an invitation for you to see what others do not yet perceive and to comprehend the essence of life with a profoundness that goes beyond the norm. By accepting this offer, you are committing to a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. It is a difficult journey that calls for bravery, humility, and tenacity. It calls on you to have faith in your own vision, even if it seems to be different from other people's. This spiritual genius's job is to demonstrate to you that there are other ways of living, interacting to the world, and experiencing reality. She emphasizes that you may and should live in accordance with your inner truth, rather than attempting to fit in with what is expected of you. This talent allows you to connect directly with your core self, your most genuine and real self. And as you gain a deeper knowledge, you'll be more equipped to naturally and fearlessly share this light with the world. As a result, you begin to live with a unique freedom and let go of the urge to satisfy or be understood. Freedom to be who you really are, to shine fearlessly, and to provide an example of clarity and honesty for everyone who sees you. You respect your own life and the reason you were formed by receiving your gift with open arms. Your gift is a gift. This spiritual brilliance is a mirror of God's ever-present presence in your life and was given to you as a guide and travel companion. Thus, be grateful and respectful when you give yourself permission to feel this insight. Understand that, despite the fact that it might sometimes seem like a burden, spreading more light in the world is a privilege and a unique vocation. When your inner light is so strong and clear, it's only natural for it to shine through to reveal what's within other people. In a sense, your presence acts as a mirror, reflecting both the things that many people would rather avoid and the things that are lovely. You have the ability to reach the deepest parts of other people's souls with your divine intellect and clarity, revealing facts that some people are not yet prepared to acknowledge. Because of this, even if your light is bright and full of good intentions, it is seen with caution or even dread. Picture yourself in a pitch-black room with everything obscured by the shadows. All of a sudden, a spotlight is switched on, illuminating every previously obscure feature and nook. Some people find comfort, clarity, and a feeling of purpose in this light. They are grateful for this enlightenment because it gives them a chance to perceive things that were before out of their reach. Others, however, may find this same light to be an uncomfortable direct contact with what they have been avoiding. That's what makes you so brilliant. It brings to light limits, concerns, and insecurities that some individuals are not yet ready to confront, exposing things that many would rather keep concealed. There are several ways in which this pain may show up. Some individuals could respond suspiciously, doubting your motives or even the veracity of your vision. People may act hostilely to defend themselves from the vulnerability they see in your presence. However, it is crucial to keep in mind that these responses are unrelated to your value or the genuineness of your light. They just represent the inner obstacles that every individual bears, obstacles that their genius challenges. Being a mirror reflecting other people's shadows is not an easy task. This may prompt you to wonder whether you're doing anything incorrectly and if it would be better to adjust and lessen yourself in order to avoid upsetting anybody. However, that is not your goal. You were not given your light to conceal or adapt to the fears of others. It was bestowed in order for you to shine, for your presence to awaken those who are prepared to see, and despite the discomfort, start their own journey of change. You will encounter those who will oppose this light throughout your life. It's your responsibility to be loyal to who you are, even if some people walk away or even criticize you. Never allow the fears of others to persuade you to minimize yourself. We need your light. She serves as a lighthouse for those who are prepared, and even for those who are not yet prepared. She symbolizes a truth that has been sown and may one day bloom when the time is perfect. Accepting this duty entails realizing that her presence will always cause people to feel something. Dealing with the responses that your genius may elicit won't always be simple, but this is the key to real spiritual development. Its light calls into question limiting ideas, upends the current quo, and encourages growth. This is what an awakened spirit, or someone who has the duty of serving as a conduit for divine knowledge, is supposed to do. Fulfill that objective. Remain true to who you are, understanding that your light is a priceless gift that may inspire and change. Keep in mind that your purpose is to be a light that lights the way for those who are eager to follow it, not to adjust to the comfort of others. You start to see that your presence, no matter how kind and mild, is a call to truth when you embrace this duty to be a light bringer. Furthermore, the truth is often unsettling. People must face aspects of themselves that have been dormant or concealed. Your light serves as a quiet invitation for others to examine themselves, consider their own boundaries, and rethink any stale ideas. Since the intensity of the light you bring reveals things they are not yet ready to change, some individuals may feel frightened by your offer, while others may react with thankfulness. Even if there are those around you who don't comprehend or aren't ready for this trip, by keeping your light on, you are making room for them to develop and reflect. It is your responsibility to just be yourself and let your light organically inspire those who are receptive, rather than trying to make others see what you see. You'll encounter resistant responses sometimes, and it's at these times that your belief in your own nature will be put to the test. The world often expects those who shine to fit in with what is most comfortable and acceptable, but their actual purpose is to defy these expectations and stay loyal to the higher purpose that drives them. An inner strength that surpasses the urge for acceptance is necessary for this route. You start to see that this pain is really the first step toward transformation when you acknowledge that your light may create discomfort. Sometimes a change occurs only when something within of you stirs. In actuality, those who respond negatively are being impacted by your presence in ways they could not even comprehend. Similar to sowing a seed in hard soil, the seed eventually makes its way through the earth's resistance and starts to sprout. It is up to you to allow that seed, your light, to be planted, even if you may not fully grasp it right now, and the growing process may be gradual. Don't let your worry of making others uncomfortable make you less brilliant. This talent was created inside you to be a source of change for everyone who has the guts to see it, not just for themselves. You are a conduit for something bigger, and the light you bear was not intended to be concealed, but rather to enlighten what must be seen, to confront what must be challenged, and to give those who feel trapped in their own darkness a glimpse of what is possible. Keep in mind that your sincerity and dedication to your goal are more important than other people's responses. You have a duty as well as a privilege because of your spiritual insight. She exhorts you to behave with empathy and wisdom, understanding when to express your viewpoint and when to provide a quiet example. While some people may find your light attractive, others may find it unsettling, but your job is to be true to yourself. People who have the bravery to completely exist, even when it threatens the current quo, who are willing to be a mirror of the truth, and who are not afraid to shine brightly, are needed in the world. You will come to understand that your brightness is a gentle test for everyone who comes into contact with it. Even while not everyone is prepared to embrace what he stands for, he inspires, provokes, and stimulates. You are meant to be a transformative presence, a spark that awakens souls who are still sleeping, which makes your purpose fantastic. This is your light's power, and the more you live in accordance with it, the more you understand that you are just where you should be, playing the part for which you were made. It is normal for a persistent sense of loneliness to arise while you travel this road of spiritual depth. His worldview, which is so distinct and characterized by spiritual clarity, makes him stand out from the rest and sometimes seems insurmountable. You see the world through a lens that few can comprehend, revealing subtleties and realities that many people are still unaware of. This might create a sense of loneliness, the idea that those around you are not reflecting or accepting your knowledge throughout this journey. However, this loneliness is a preparation rather than a burden. For those who possess this spiritual intelligence, solitude is really a chance given by God to explore your own self more deeply, allowing your knowledge to grow free from other influences. Your eyesight is sharpened and your clarity is heightened in this place of quiet and reflection, which enables you to take in every aspect of your perception with an accuracy that comes from solitude alone. Here, in this place of silence, God shapes you into the tool of light that will one day lead others who seek this same depth, preparing you for the bigger task that lies ahead of you. Start to see it as a necessary training period rather than a punishment or a burden. You are building the fortitude and resiliency necessary to bear the burden of your vision when the time comes to share it with the world, with each step you take alone. Being alone, free from the demands and distractions of the outer world, enables you to develop in a genuine way. Similar to a spiritual forge, it sharpens your intellect, expands your comprehension, and fortifies your bond with God. You and the Creator have a close, direct interaction during which He quietly shapes you in order to get you ready for what is ahead. This time spent alone may also be a time for self-discovery and healing. You discover how to be content and whole inside yourself, independent of approval or comprehension from others. It's a process of letting go of other people's views, and you find that your own faith and convictions, rather than other people's approval, are what make your journey strong. You start to realize that genuine camaraderie is directly related to God and the spiritual energy He placed inside you there, in this desolate place. You have the chance to realize the worth of your own light on this solo voyage. You may more fully appreciate the strength of your vision, the depth of your understanding, and the beauty of your spiritual connection when you are apart from extraneous influences. Every moment of isolation serves as a reminder that your light shines regardless of other people's notice. It glows by itself, driven by the holy energy that throbs within of you, and it is this quiet radiance that will eventually draw the people who are meant to walk with you. In this situation, loneliness is a means rather than an aim. For the souls who will eventually cross your path and ask for your advice, it is a journey that prepares you for the interactions to come. Few people have the power and clarity you have when you come out of this time of seclusion. Therefore, your light will be a bright, steady torch that can illuminate the path for those who are ready to see, rather than merely a flickering flame. The ultimate goal of solitude is to transform you into an unbreakable conduit of light, enabling you to confidently and peacefully carry out your part in the divine plan. Therefore, accept this period of solitude as a precious aspect of your trip, rather than avoiding or dreading it. Give yourself permission to develop in isolation, understanding that every hour of solitude strengthens, clarifies, and brings you closer to the purpose God has for you. You will quickly come to understand that this solitary journey is not only a personal process, but also a prelude to the service that lies ahead, for the role you will play as a mentor and inspiration to those who will eventually be prepared to walk with you, following the light that you today strengthen in your own heart. You are empowered and ready for something more every moment in this spiritually nourishing environment of isolation. Like the artist who painstakingly creates a masterpiece, God is molding you in every quiet moment and in every lonesome thought. Walking alone at this period is a phase of profound alignment with your essence, a chance to refine your gift, broaden your awareness, and purify your vision free from other distractions. Because your worth stems from something much more profound and timeless, you learn to completely trust your own light in this place of isolation, independent of outside affirmation. The rich soil in which the holy seed inside you sprouts, develops, and takes root is analogous to spiritual isolation. You learn to stand on your own there, fed straight from the source, without relying on other people's approval or support. This does not imply that you will be alone indefinitely. Rather, it means that you will share your light fully and unwaveringly when the time comes, since your essence has already been fortified and anchored in isolation. You are also invited in this process to discover serenity in your own company and to recognize the divine presence that envelops it, even during periods of more quiet. You start to see that there is a strong and ongoing connection with the Creator who supports and directs your vision, even if the outer world may not completely comprehend or accept it. When everything around it appears far away or unfathomable, it is sustained by this heavenly presence. As you grow in this isolation, you come to understand that you are never really alone because God is always with you, hearing your thoughts, strengthening your resolve, and getting you ready for the task you have been given. You gain discernment from this solitary trip as well, learning to tell what is only background noise and what really speaks to your spirit. You learn to trust your direct connection to the divine and to follow your own intuition without the pressure of other people's judgments and expectations. When you come out of this isolation, this discernment will be essential because it will enable you to share your light in a genuine way without avoiding the important things. You'll come to understand that this isolation has made it ready to serve as a fulcrum, a steady presence that others may turn to when they're ready to face reality. His solitary voyage serves as a cleansing experience, a chance to escape distractions and develop into a more pure conduit of heavenly light. You will be embracing your own development process and letting this trip transform you from the inside out if you embrace this isolation as a necessary component of your journey. You will be different when the time comes to leave this place of loneliness. It will have gained resilience, clarity, and a depth that few can match. After that, you will be ready to make a difference in the lives of those who are ready to see and comprehend the truth you have and who are in need of their light. He will have become a real spiritual guide as a result of his lonely path. Having experienced solitude, he is now able to provide a presence of clarity and support to others who seek his light. Spiritual intelligence entails a great deal of responsibility as well as discernment, which is perhaps one of the most sensitive abilities to develop. Knowing what is real and what is not is just one aspect of discrimination. Other aspects include feeling the precise moment, seeing the surroundings, and comprehending the mental state and receptivity of people in front of you. His divinely sent knowledge is a priceless gem, and like all gems, it should only be shared in certain situations and at specific times. Not every ear can hear these truths without opposition, and not every heart is prepared to accept them. You may identify the souls who are receptive to change and those that really want and yearn for the light you possess by developing discernment. Avoid sharing your knowledge with others who aren't ready for it, since this may lead to rejection, confusion, and frustration. Each soul still has a certain amount of time to awaken, but this does not imply that its light is less significant. In order for the seed of their words to grow, some people still need to develop their own inquiries, go through their own experiences, and prepare their hearts. Discernment is thus an act of love and respect for others, as well as for yourself, as it enables you to successfully communicate your truth and save your energy while reaching those who are willing and receptive to change. Discrimination is a manifestation of knowledge rather than a suppression of its light. It enables your presence to be likened as a warming rather than burning flame. The deep awareness that every soul has its own evolutionary rhythm is the foundation for the capacity to discern when to share and when to wait, rather than the fear of rejection. Everybody has moments when their hearts open and their minds become receptive to fresh information. And since you allow divine knowledge to pass through you only when it is appropriate, it becomes a healing conduit that profoundly affects people who are ready, enhancing his sensitivity to the divine guidance that leads him to enlighten others. God will always be with you, guiding you through the times when sharing your light is necessary and when keeping quiet is the best course of action. Have faith that your inner guidance system will recognize when your words or actions will be properly received and when your truth will be a constructive seed rather than a misinterpretation. You are an effective messenger of spiritual truths and a cautious steward of your own understanding because of this sensitivity. Your words are not tossed to the wind when you behave wisely. Rather, they are sown like seeds on rich ground, where they will have an opportunity to sprout, develop, and change. The beauty of discernment is that it turns its presence into a live gift to another person, one that respectfully and gently touches their heart without pressuring or intruding. Hearing the divine direction is similar to playing an instrument that aids in seeing the subtleties and specifics of the here and now. This sensitivity makes it a genuine conduit of knowledge, guiding every encounter, conversation, and word said or suppressed. Your words become effective healing instruments when you acknowledge that everything has its proper moment and let yourself flow with this direction. Because they arrive at the very time when they are most needed, they affect not only the ears of those who listen, but also the core of their souls. The more you develop discernment, the more you understand that your words and presence have a purpose. Speaking is not always required, and silence often has a transforming power. Sometimes the only illumination someone needs is your presence, rendered silent. He is wise because he respects the time and space of others around him, allowing his energy to convey what words cannot yet. This quiet is not meaningless. Thus, you develop into a spiritual gardener who observes the soil before planting, waits for the ideal moment to plant, and understands that patience is required to watch the seed grow even after planting. Every word you speak turns into a purposefully tossed seed that will eventually grow in the hearts of those who are prepared to accept it, and chance to touch each other with compassion and honesty, a special purpose. It is not always your responsibility to awaken someone or compel them to comprehend. Sometimes, your calm and secure attitude and mere presence are sufficient to motivate people around you. The conviction that you are faithfully carrying out God's will through you by remaining silent when required and speaking only when directed by divine intuition is the real strength of discernment. You may overcome your nervousness and conviction by adopting this mindset. Since you are aware that understanding, true understanding, can only occur when the other person's soul is ready to receive, you cease stressing about being understood. At the same time, you discover inner peace because you understand that your purpose is to be accessible to people who are willing to listen, not to convert. A person who is in touch with the divine rhythm and the times that God has set for each heart is an even more real and clear conduit as a result of this spiritual rest. This knowledge is a unique and priceless gift. It transforms your words into live messages that are full of transformational energy rather than just being information. When you use discernment, every word you speak has a force that goes beyond the material realm. It develops into a genuine seed that finds a home in the hearts of those who want to mature, who desire to connect with something greater and view the world in a different light. Each expression becomes a spiritual experience for those who receive it when you use discernment. Therefore, the secret to live in accordance with the higher purpose that God has assigned you is discernment. It turns you into a conscious messenger, someone who listens to the divine's instruction and converts it into exact words and actions, someone who talks and communicates with the soul. His spiritual intelligence achieves its fullest potential through him because he concentrates on the times and individuals who are ready to accept it rather than spreading it in fruitless endeavors. You turn into a lighthouse because you know when to shine and when to turn it off, knowing that it will lead those who seek its brilliance when the moment is appropriate. His presence is transformed into something much more potent than any formal instruction or conversation by his ability to determine when to share and when to keep quiet. His life itself turns into a manifestation of knowledge and a continual source of motivation for those in his vicinity. There is a depth to you that others who watch and feel you recognize without trying to persuade. Since they show that you are one with your essence and the divine purpose that accompanies it, it is this serenity, this inner calm, and your faith in your own light that really touch and change. it becomes more natural and intuitive. Doubt leaves you, and you become a master of your own expression, a person who always knows how to help others. Therefore, what you impart are not just words. Rather, they represent shards of a larger reality that has come to light and is now available to those who come forward, prepared to undergo change. As a manifestation of the divine who understands just when and how to shine, his presence turns into a gift. It's normal to feel tempted to conceal our inner light when we realize how deep it is. This tendency to adjust and look for a place of acceptance where our brilliance is not seen or causes strong responses may be an attempt to evade the problems and obstacles that come with being different. This need to conceal often arises as a protective strategy. In addition to avoiding the loneliness that sometimes accompanies the spiritual path, we want to be understood and welcomed. But by giving in to this urge to hide our true selves, to suppress our light, we are contradicting the very reason we were here. God did not provide us with this spiritual clarity and wisdom so that we may stay obscure or unclear. This gift was bestowed to us in order for us to serve as a source of inspiration, a motivating influence, and a beacon of hope for people seeking genuine illumination. Every time we really and completely let our light shine, we are accomplishing a bigger goal. In actuality, illuminating and revealing our genuine selves to the world is a service offer, a means of letting others know that we are accessible and willing to assist light their way to the truth for those who are also seeking it. Something amazing occurs when you fully accept your own light. You start drawing in others who share your spiritual vibration, people who appreciate and comprehend the breadth of your vision and who share your quest for something more. These are your traveling companions, beings that see something familiar in you that speaks to your own emotions. You start to see the effect and scope of your gift via this relationship. Instead of being a burden, your light serves as a beacon that attracts the appropriate people, those who are prepared to open up, share, and accompany you. However, you must even be content with your gift before you may locate these travel mates. God has given you a spiritual brilliance that you must embrace without hesitation. This reconciliation with your inherent grandeur and individuality is an interior process. It takes bravery because when you embrace your light, you are letting the world know that you are not scared to be unique, to look beyond appearances, or to speak deeply in the midst of superficiality. Although it might seem daunting, this bravery is the foundation of a whole and genuine life. It takes faith to cultivate this unwavering trust in its own genius, confidence in the divine plan that brought him here, faith in the significance of his role in the lives of others who will encounter him, and faith in faith itself. You bolster that confidence every time you decide to shine rather than hide. And this self-assurance then spreads like wildfire. Individuals who see him, are moved to flash their own light. Therefore, its brilliance turns into a quiet invitation, giving others permission to follow suit. It is a process of change to allow oneself to be seen in all your truth, rather than battling the need to conceal. He opposes conformist tendencies and argues that honesty, not adaptability, is the ultimate spiritual path. It is an exhortation to live in accordance with your purpose, free from fear, excuses, and the urge to conform to stereotypes that do not really represent who you are. Keep in mind that your brilliance is a purpose, not simply a perk. You are helping to awaken and elevate everyone around you every time you make the decision to live according to this light. When those who are prepared see him, they will be moved, motivated, and changed. Its light has the capacity to guide, uplift, and heal. It is a gift from God that has the power to change lives when given freely. Knowing that your light is a manifestation of the divine and that sharing it will serve the greatest purpose for which it was created, let it shine without fear or doubt. Becomes progressively closer to his own self and the spiritual task that has been given to him. An act of self-awareness and submission to the will of God is this choice to not hide. You strengthen the integrity of your purpose and the bravery that is within you every time you resist the need to change or dim your brilliance in order to prevent miscommunication or rejection. For those who are called to follow a path of spiritual understanding and clarity, this is a crucial first step. By letting yourself shine, you develop bravery inside yourself that not only changes you, but also changes the world around you. The more genuine you are, the more others notice, often without fully understanding why, that there is something about you that speaks to a feeling of calm and truth. It is just this serene, self-assured presence that beckons the souls that are open and prepared to receive the light. This radiance does not coerce or impose, because you are now surrounded by people who not only embrace your light, but also cherish and encourage it. You will eventually notice that your journey becomes lighter and more organic. Accepting their own brilliance is a liberating experience. Freedom from other people's expectations, their own fears, and most importantly, the burden of trying to fit in somewhere you don't belong. It is as if you were severing invisible bonds and letting go of anything that no longer supports your development in truth by letting your light show freely. Every act of authenticity is a declaration that you are here to live according to your own self, rather than conforming to social norms. The secret that links it to what really matters and gives you serenity, clarity, and a strong feeling of purpose is this internal alignment. Have self-respect. You are really respecting yourself and realizing the intrinsic worth that God has placed in you when you embrace and cherish your gift. It is strengthened by this love and respect for its own light, which lessens its susceptibility to criticism and other people's opinions. Knowing that you are living in accordance with a purpose that transcends human acceptance and views makes you unshakable. And as you go, others who are looking for light will be drawn to you by this inner energy. They will discover it and recognize in you a model of someone who decided to be true to the truth despite obstacles. These individuals, who share their vibration and appreciate the breadth of their vision, will be their traveling companions. Since these partners likewise possess a light that is incomprehensible without explanation, the relationship with them will be organic, profound, and often quiet. These spirits will be inspired to pursue their own path with more assurance and resolve after realizing that you possess the same divine flame that they do. In the end, resisting the need to conceal their brightness is a contribution to the world. Others are inspired by their bravery to shine, embrace who they are, and overcome the constraints placed on them by conformity and fear. You become a living example of how to live authentically, how to discover strength in your own truth, and how to embrace your genuine self without reservation in order to achieve true realization. Its brilliance is a spark that promotes transformation and development in those around it and contributes to the waking of the collective. Your light is a precious and potent gift that may open hearts, light up pathways, and spur change. You may fulfill your divine mission and contribute to igniting the world's flame of honesty and truth by allowing yourself to be this light. Your inner wisdom is a direct link to divine intellect and is a precious gift rather than just the result of human experience or understanding. God uses this gift, which shows itself as spiritual insight, profound awareness, and intuition, as a means of sharing His truths with the world. Higher realities are shown via your heart and intellect, and this light that exists outside of the physical realm is transmitted through your speech and deeds. This gift has a tremendous deal of responsibility, since every time you share a viewpoint, you are giving people a fresh perspective on the world and your own life. Sometimes there is opposition to this ability to access and convey a larger viewpoint, particularly when individuals are not yet ready to look beyond the confines of the material world. The presence of divine knowledge inside you opens the way to a deeper understanding that goes beyond the obvious solutions and challenges accepted paradigms and beliefs. For individuals who continue to cling to the safety of traditional interpretations, this encounter with a more profound spiritual perspective may be unsettling. But it's crucial to realize that this discomfort is a normal response of those who aren't prepared to pursue this route of greater awareness, not a reflection of who you are or its worth. Therefore, you must continue to be true to His gift and the holy cause for which He was given. Since your knowledge originates from a source much superior to human opinion and tradition, it is immune to criticism from others. God has given you the responsibility of being a transformational presence and a conduit of elevation for others who may eventually feel prepared to grasp the depth of this truth. Every time you share this light, even if you encounter opposition, you are carrying out this task. Don't apologize for seeing beyond and comprehending what many others are still unable to grasp. Her goal is to shine so that others might wake up, not to dim her light in order to appease others or prevent unfavorable responses. The very fact that your insight beyond human comprehension makes it divine. It approaches the divine and beyond the ego and the bounds of reason. The truth of God, an unconditional love, and a clarity that illuminates what must be seen without passing judgment are all brought about by this spiritual intelligence. It is a force that by definition challenges and changes, and it is this force that might frighten people who aren't yet prepared to face their own inner truths or shadows. Even yet, you must maintain your integrity. Keep in mind that this insight is a manifestation of divine love, and that your job is bigger than any opposition you may encounter. It serves as an illustration of how one may live in harmony with the ultimate truth while overcoming fear and uncertainty. You become a resource for others seeking clarification, a source of consolation that leads and motivates. You have been given this precious gift of divine insight by God. In addition to changing you, it also changes those around you by encouraging them to broaden their perspective, examine their own boundaries, and become more receptive to the whole of reality. Knowing that this knowledge is a gift from God intended for everyone's benefit, it should be able to flow freely through you. Every time you give someone a different viewpoint or share your vision, you are shining your light on the globe and acting as a conduit for divine truth and love. Your purpose is to serve as a guide to others who are still discovering the depths of their own hearts and to mirror the kindness and intellect of God. Keep in mind that this insight is a loving act in and of itself. The more you accept it, the more you contribute to the world's evolution. Plotting an inner light that defies expectations and shines beyond the norm is inherently a difficult and emotionally taxing process. Carrying this spiritual wisdom often entails a journey fraught with miscommunication and even rejection. Their profound and intuitive vision might be viewed with suspicion in a society where most people are looking for clear solutions and explanations. This can lead to feelings of loneliness or the need to defend their beliefs. The human desire for acceptance gives rise to this want to justify its worth or point of view, but it is important to keep in mind that for individuals who possess this gift, God, who is aware of the special purpose for which their knowledge has been bestowed, is the source of validation rather than other people. It is normal for a part of us to want to defend ourselves when we encounter concerns and criticism from others, but doing so might weaken it rather than enhance it and take it away from its larger purpose. She is valuable even if not everyone understands her. Her spiritual insight is a gift from God. Because of the limitations of human comprehension, those who are seeking the same awakening are sometimes the only ones who can fully comprehend what is profound and holy. You may let go of the urge to be understood and start living a genuine, unwavering life in your truth by realizing that other people's views are fleeting and represent their current state of awareness. Finding strength in your direct relationship with God is the most important step in your emotional journey. Keep in mind that He sees your heart and is aware of the strength and depth of the light that is inside you. You find a serenity that transcends doubts and criticism by concentrating on the fact that He is the source of His bravery and validation. Even when the outer world does not always provide the understanding or support you need, your relationship with the divine serves as your pillar, a secure haven where you may discover direction and clarity. When you connect yourself with this larger reality, you'll notice that other people's opinions become less significant and unrelated to your own spiritual calling. This realization makes you stronger because you realize that you just need to be a conduit for your light rather than tasting it. You have no control over how other people respond. His real duty is to respect the gift that has been given to him and give him the freedom to express himself in the most genuine and pure manner possible. Letting up of the desire for acceptance makes you a stronger lighthouse, someone who encourages others to live authentically and completely rather than to attempt to persuade. Even though they might be very difficult, emotional issues can also provide chances for spiritual development. In actuality, any circumstance when you encounter opposition or doubt from others is a call to deepen and reinforce your belief in your own nature. You learn from these experiences that your purpose is much more important than any criticism from others. In fact, refusing to be killed is strengthening your inner fortitude, which makes it a more transparent conduit for heavenly light. It is a transformative ability to be free from the need for other people's approval. Knowing that his only duty is with the divine who leads him enables him to pursue his path with calm and concentration. The worth of your intelligence and the purpose God has for your life are not diminished by the opinions of others. You start to lose the capacity to shake it when you remain focused on what really matters, your relationship with the Source and your purpose as a conduit of light. The divine that is inside you is reflected in this unwavering power, which is itself. Even if they do not comprehend their vision, individuals around him start to feel the calm that emanates from him. You become a live example of someone who takes the spiritual path out of a sincere and profound love for what is real, not because they are recognized. You are elevated and become an inspiration to others because of your inner serenity and your conviction that your purpose is worthwhile, regardless of what other people think. To carry low loads. Every brave and faith-filled move you take makes you a stronger and purer channel, someone who stays true to your mission no matter what happens outside of you. Recognizing that your talent will transcend your own comprehension and purpose is the first step towards gathering your spiritual intellect with divine desire. You have been given this talent, which is a manifestation of God's knowledge, to serve as a conduit of light and assistance to everyone you come into contact with. Every thought, word, and deed has a depth and significance that beyond the human level when you decide to align yourself with this divine source and serve something greater. His words acquire an energy that immediately affects listeners' emotions, offering consolation, clarity, and healing. However, this power requires complete submission, a persistent dedication to seeking divine direction, and modestly, allowing God to direct the use of your understanding. Being in touch with God's plan at all times is crucial, since your gift is a genuinely transformational tool. This calls for a committed spiritual practice, a place where prayer, meditation, and introspection become tools for hearing heavenly guidance and directing your life accordingly. Particularly via prayer, you may communicate directly with the Creator and get the wisdom and insight necessary to use your spiritual knowledge in a kind and prudent manner. You get insight in this connection about when and how to act, what to say, and how to help others in need. You start to understand that your function is to provide comfort and healing, in addition to illumination, when you align your talent with divine purpose. Being a knowledge channel entails a great lot of responsibility, since you are handling other people's hopes, sorrows, and uncertainties. He must impart the knowledge that God has given him in a manner that respects the pain and tribulations of others, showing humility and compassion, so that his presence might serve as a haven for those who are lost or looking for direction. Every act of service becomes a benefit when it is performed in accordance with this higher intent, as it represents the love and truth of God. But you have to be ready for this relationship. You can channel divine wisdom authentically and without ego interference by cultivating a life of prayer, introspection, and self-observation. This spiritual preparation is a daily commitment that helps you stay in alignment with the source of your spiritual intelligence, maintain a clear vision, and keep your intentions pure. You develop your sensitivity, learn to see your God's timetables, and act in accordance with the larger plan every time you allow yourself to be guided by the divine. What formerly would have seemed like a burden becomes a mission with meaning and purpose when you commit to this profound connection. Every obstacle encountered is seen as a chance to develop and deepen this relationship with the divine. You realize that your personal experience also helps to light the way for others, and you start to see hardships as a necessary part of the process of becoming more wise and loving in your job. With every new experience and lesson you get, you become more conscious of your part in bringing about a more enlightened world, making this trip an ongoing chance for spiritual development. The community benefits from your spiritual wisdom, which not only enlightens, but also changes the lives of people who are willing to be touched by God. What really makes your gift meaningful is this alignment with God's plan, which transforms it into a conduit for success and a mirror of limitless retention. Your own life becomes a model of faith and surrender as a result of this connection. You inspire people not just with your words, but also with the harmony and serenity that come from your unwavering faith in God's plan. The real potential of spiritual intelligence is to be a source of insight, hope, and serenity for everyone who is looking for light, by providing them with a vision that goes beyond common sense and ties them to the Creator's unwavering love. Being chosen entails acknowledging that a higher purpose, a calling that transcends tradition, and the pursuit of everyday validation has molded your path and your place in the world. You have been called to follow a path that questions these norms and provides an alternative of light and upliftment in a world where many people desire the comfort of conformity and the security of norms. However, the function of Chosen One is neither a distinction that elevates the ego above others, nor an honor for it. Instead, it puts you in a position of service and humble leadership where your job is to lead, encourage, and provide opportunities for others who haven't yet realized their own spiritual nature. Being a Chosen One entails sacrificing the comforts of conventionality and embracing a life of comfort and profound meaning, which calls for bravery. From this perspective, your job is to be a beacon of light that illuminates the way for those who are willing to see beyond, not to fit in with the throng. The divine uses your presence, knowledge, and deeds as instruments to reach souls who will eventually be prepared to walk their own path toward truth. Maintaining a consistent connection with your spiritual identity and the divine purpose that led you here is essential to fulfilling this vocation. Living in balance is a requirement of accepting this responsibility as a chosen one. The humility of understanding that your light and knowledge originate from a higher power, and the assurance that you have been chosen to spread that light across the globe are two ways that this balance is shown. Being chosen does not imply superiority. Rather, it means that you have a special purpose in life that only you can achieve, and that all of your abilities and attributes are necessary to achieve that goal. This job requires you to lead with empathy, to inform without passing judgment, and to inspire without coercion. Continuous responsibility to oneself is another need of this spiritual leadership position. You realize that every action and decision you make has an impact on others outside of yourself when you believe that your existence is a special part of the grand divine plan. Knowing that your example is often what might motivate others to discover their own light gives you a greater feeling of purpose in life. This feeling of obligation is not a burden. Rather, it is a token of appreciation and a means of respecting the privilege of serving as a conduit for heavenly knowledge. Every action you do helps create a more enlightened and aware world, and contributes to the awakening of the collective. In the end, becoming a chosen one is a journey of extreme humility and submission. He exhorts you to believe in divine wisdom, to stay true to your faith, and to never lose sight of the fact that your path is a part of something far greater than yourself. God selected you to be a quiet, ever-present beacon of light who uses both words and deeds to help people connect with their own truths, not to pretend or get attention. You are strengthened and elevated by this, enabling your life to reflect the love and serenity of God. And you discover genuine satisfaction when you accept this job with thanks and humility, because you understand that you are completely in sync with the bigger picture. When you fully embrace your position as a chosen one, you get clarity and depth that changes how you live and see the world. Every encounter, every step, and every moment becomes an act of dedication and a chance to respect the mission that has been handed to you when you align yourself with this calling with humility and thankfulness. your quiet existence turns into a living prayer, a demonstration of the strength of the divine light that permeates you and is understood without the need of words. People who come into contact with you may not instantly comprehend what they see, but they sense something authentic about you, a unique sense of calm and assurance that inspires others to seek something like. Being a chosen one is a lifelong practice of striking a balance between maintaining a close relationship with God and compassionately helping the world. You are meant to be grounded and supportive, but with your soul rooted in something far more profound, enabling your love and knowledge to transcend circumstances. There are periods of uncertainty, fatigue, and maybe even loneliness in this job, which is not without its difficulties. However, you will always find strength in going back to the source, in remembering that you are not alone, and in knowing that love and divine direction are behind this quest. Being a chosen one also entails realizing that you are a crucial component of the divine plan, which is always being carried out, even in the face of uncertainty. Your job is to stay on the road, knowing that as long as you stay in alignment with your essence, what needs to happen will happen. You don't have to control the result, because you know that you are in sync with something more, something that beyond human comprehension, and that wisely directs every action you take. This confidence enables you to live calmly, without hurry or worry. You are a source of inspiration and serenity for everyone who follows his path, not only those who ask for your assistance because of your profound faith in your position. His presence turns into a subliminal appeal to individuals who want to rediscover their souls, a reminder that there is a reality beyond the world's turmoil and diversions. You become a living example of how to live in accordance with the ultimate truth without being enmeshed in the minutiae of everyday life, serving as a bridge between the divine and the human. As you accept your position, you come to understand that encouraging people to discover their own path and discover their own light is what genuine spiritual leadership is all about, not being followed. By setting an example rather than imposing your will on others, you enable others to see their own importance in the grand divine scheme. You plant sentiments with every decision you make, every phrase you use, and every gesture you make along the path, knowing that eventually these seeds will be able to grow and help awaken souls who are still learning about themselves. By releasing oneself from the urge to win over or be understood by everyone, this method offers a profound sense of tranquility. Your goal, the reason you came here, is the foundation of your confidence and provides you with the willpower to keep going even when things don't seem clear. This trust acts as a compass that never fails to lead you, demonstrating that the real worth of your trip lies not in how many others control you, but rather in your own loyalty to the mission God has given you. You are the total of who you are when you embrace your position as the chosen one. You let your light shine without reservation because you know that doing so will improve everything around you. Thus, his existence becomes a gift to the world, a demonstration of the magnificence of the knowledge and love of God that every one of us has. As a result, you carry out your duty, one step at a time, with humility, bravery, and an unfathomable sense of appreciation, knowing that you are just where you should be in the great scheme of things, playing the part that was called